Ay, 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 ugayang kalayaman, ugayang kalayaman.
Isang magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Tayo ng magkwentuhan.
Magkumustahan at ngayon may bagong matututunan.
Mula dyan sa inyong mga tahanan at kami naman dito sa Baguio City.
Ako po si Father Douglas.
Ako si Father Earl.
Ako si Father Danichi.
Samahan niyo po kami dito po sa Quiapo, Bisita Seminaryo Edition.
Mga Fathers, isang bagong edisyon na naman ang meron tayo at isang bagong seminaryo ang ating itatampok at bibisitahin.
Mula Maynila, bumiyahe tayo dito sa Baguio City upang ipakilala sa inyo ang isa sa mga seminaryo dito sa Baguio.
Kaya halina, samahan nyo kami at bisitahin natin ang tampok na seminaryo sa araw na ito.
Andito tayo ngayon sa City of Pines, Baguio City, upang ipakilala ang isang seminaryo, ang San Pablo Seminary.
Ito ang Philosophy and College Seminary ng Baguio City.
At para sa dagdag na kaalaman, atin pong pupuntahan at bibisitahin si Father Rolly Buyagan, ang kanilang rektor sa kasalukuyan. Kaya tara na!
Magandang araw po sa ating lahat. I am Father Rolly Buyagan, the current director of this seminary, San Pablo Seminary of the Diocese of Baguio. In 1976, the San Pablo Seminary was not yet. This building is in fact St. Francis Xavier Seminary, the high school seminary of the Montañosa Church. We call it Apostolic Vicariate of Montañosa. But this Montañosa was divided in 1992 into three. So the Apostolic Vicariate of Baguio, Bontoc Lagawe, and Tabuk. And this was made a regional seminary in 1976, being separated from the Regional Theological Seminary, the Immaculate Conception School of Theology in Vigan. So they separated the theology and philosophy. The bishops then decided to separate college, and then the bishop, the late Most Reverend William Brazur, CICM, asked that this building would become the college regional seminary for Northern Luzon. And in 1976, this was made San Pablo Seminary, regional seminary for Northern Luzon. That means for college. And that was so until 2018. Recently, when the ecclesiastical jurisdictions in Northern Luzon was establishing each diocese or archdiocese was establishing a college like that of College Seminary in Apari, in the Archdiocese of Tuguegarao, the College Seminary in Ilagan, the College Seminary in Dagupan, and the College Seminary in Lawag. That means we are left, and the bishops asked our current bishop if this could be managed or be brought back to the diocese, and our bishop, the Most Reverend Victor Babindico, nodded. And so in 2018, this was from Regional Seminary, it became the Diocesan College Seminary of the Diocese of Baguio. But the Northern Luzon bishops asked that if there would be seminarians coming from the dioceses or apostolic vicariates who could come and study here, that the Diocese of Baguio would welcome these seminarians. And in fact, that is the case. So here we have right now, this coming school year, we have seminarians from the Archdiocese of Nueva Segovia, from the Diocese of San Fernando La Union, from the Apostolic Vicariates of Tabuk and Bontoc Lagawe, and from the Diocese of Bayongbong, including those coming from the Diocese of Baguio. By the diocese, but it is still open to other dioceses and apostolic vicariates, at least in Northern Luzon. And this school year, with the approval of our bishop, we just made this college seminary not only a school of philosophy, but with the approval of CHED, we added values education. So in other words, after they graduate here, they could take LET for teachers. I mean, so there are two courses, AB Philo and Bachelor of Arts in Values Education. So that at least when they graduate, not only philosophy, but also they can take LET. And so the bishop thought that it would be nice if the CHED would approve to have at least when they graduate, AB Philo, and that would be helpful for theology. And if they would like to teach, they can take LET, and then they will be licensed. They could teach in in schools. So, and one thing more that we would like to add, we applied trimester. So these courses will be taken in 3 years, because in 1 year we have a trimester. We will apply 3 semesters in 1 year. We learned also this one from the experience we had this pandemic, and hopefully this would be of help. The diocese is, well, we call it, many of the parishes would belong to indigenous people's community. And that's why we thought also of somehow having the core value of social justice. And we would like to inculcate the spirit of social justice as the mainstream spirit of each seminarian, because well, we are training them for especially for pastoral ministry. Even if they are seminarians, you know so well that in the diocese and even the Cordillera, many of the work of a priest is involved in community building, building up of we call it gimongs, BECs. And many of these communities are very far from the center. And oftentimes we walk for hours. And we would like to initiate first of all, our seminarians to such kind of spirit, to such kind of ministry. First, to be part of that spirit of social justice, to get involved in community building. And oftentimes, when we do not go to the communities on Sundays, we send our seminarians. And that's why the seminary is also demanded in a way to train them, even if, it's always the culture of the people that when you are a seminarian, you could give something. And when they are assigned or they go to the communities, they look up to what the seminarian could give. Talking of charism, we would like to expose them to community involvement, community participation. We would like them to find this God, the Lord, in experience, especially their faith, and at the same time, they get nourished, their vocation is nourished when they are exposed to community building, to helping up in the building up of BECs. So aside, of course, from the things that the seminary would often give to seminarians, I think this is one important thing that we would like to let our seminarians imbibe. Because practically, ministry here is community involvement. It's being with the people in the BECs. Our bishop is just simply 4 years, but he was counting on the number of seminarians who are supposed to be ordained in the coming years. And he was a formator in Capis, in theology. He was a rector. And we're so happy that he is passionate about vocation promotion. And in fact, when he came up, he was looking for the ex-seminarians na walang sabit, if they could come back, if he could talk to them and come back. And at the same time, every time he goes to visit the parishes, he would often end up his message with inviting young people to enter the religious life, especially diocesan priesthood. And so we would like to invite young people, those of you who are, according to the bishop, those who are still confused, those who are still who do not have yet a good direction in life. Maybe you might as well, maybe God is calling you to this vocation, to join us in the ministry of priesthood, so that we could help in the building up of God's kingdom in this part of the country, especially in the north, and particularly in Cordillera.
Kaya siguro, Fathers, bagay na ipinangalan ang seminaryong ito kay San Pablo dahil alam naman natin si San Pablo, iba ang pinanggalingan bilang Hudyo. Subalit nung nakita niya at tumugon siya sa tawag ni Kristo, ay dinala niya ang mabuting balita sa iba't ibang lugar, sa iba't ibang kultura at tradisyon.
At itong seminaryong ito ay hindi lang tumatanggap ng mga taga Baguio, kundi kahit na sa ibang lugar o gayong diocese, pwedeng mag-apply ang isang seminarista.
Kaya sa mga kabataan natin, lalo tigay sa mga high school graduate, meron po kayong pwedeng mapuntahan na seminaryo dito sa Baguio para matulungan kayo sa inyong discernment o sa bukasyon na nais ninyong tunguhin.
Ay, 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 ugayang kalayaman.
At dito na naman po nagtatapos ang isang paglalakbay at pagtatampok sa isang seminaryo.
Tiyak ay marami naman tayong natutunan at nakita ngayon. Total, tayo naman ay nanggaling sa ibang lugar at ibang kultura, subalit parehong tawag sa pagpapari.
Kaya naman nagpapasalamat tayo sa buong komunidad ng San Pablo Seminary, lalo na sa kanilang rektor na si Father Rolly Buyagan sa pagpapaunlak sa atin at pagpapakita at pagbukas ng kanilang seminaryo.
Hanggang sa muli nating pagkikwentuhan,
Pagkukumustahan at ngayon may bagong natutunan.
Mula dyan sa inyong mga tahanan at kami naman dito sa Baguio City.
siya po si Father Denichi.
Siya si Father Earl.
At siya po si Father Douglas.
Samahan niyo po kaming muli dito po sa Quiapo, Bisita Seminaryo Edition.